Emergency lights flashing. A pregnant woman collapsed in first class. And the only person who can save her? A 17-year-old kid from the south side of Chicago. Stay with me. Breathe with me. Jamal's hands move fast. The woman's face is ghost white. Her pulse is fading. Her husband screams for help, but there's no doctor on board. Just a teenager who wasn't even supposed to be on this flight. 3 days later. That same teenager sits across from a billionaire. A check for more money than his family has ever seen lies on the table. So what do you want, Jamal? The answer that comes out of his mouth? It will shock you. Because this kid didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for fame. What he asked for was something nobody saw coming. 4:30 a.m. The alarm clock screams in the cramped apartment above Rodriguez laundromat on Chicago's south side. Jamal Washington rolls out of bed, his feet hitting the cold linoleum floor. The radiator clangs like it's dying. The paint peels off the walls in long strips. But the smell of his grandmother's coffee already fills the air. Morning, Grandma May. May Washington, 73 years old with hands that have seen decades of hard work, slides a plate of scrambled eggs across the tiny kitchen table. You eat every bite, baby. Long day ahead. Jamal counts the crumpled bills in his wallet. $47. That's what's left after helping May with her diabetes medication last week. The college acceptance letter sits on the counter, still unopened. Community college EMT program, his dream school. But dreams cost money they don't have. You gonna open that letter sometime? May asks. What's the point? We both know I can't afford it. May's eyes get that look, the one that says she'd sell everything she owns if it meant Jamal could go to school. Don't you worry about money, baby. The Lord provides. Jamal kisses her forehead and grabs his work clothes. Nike sneakers with holes covered in duct tape. The jacket with the torn pocket where his phone falls through. At O'Hare Airport, Jamal clocks in for his baggage handler shift. $6.50 an hour. 40 hours a week when he's lucky. His supervisor, Mr. Carter, waves him over. Washington, we're short on cabin cleaning today. Do you mind switching? Whatever you need, Mr. Carter. Jamal has been working here for 8 months. Never missed a shift. Never complained. Never asked for special treatment. During his lunch break, Jamal sits in the employee break room with his cracked phone. The screen has a spider web of lines across it, but it still works. He opens YouTube. Emergency medical procedures. How to treat shock. CPR for cardiac arrest. Every day he watches these videos, take notes in a beat-up composition notebook, dreams of being the guy who shows up when someone needs help most. His coworker Rico slides into the seat next to him. Still studying to be a paramedic on that broken phone? Knowledge is knowledge, Jamal says. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Rico shakes his head. You're 17, man. You should be worried about girls and parties. But Jamal isn't like other 17-year-olds. Last month, when Mrs. Rodriguez from apartment 2B fell down the stairs, Jamal was the one who knew to check for head injuries. When little Miguel got stung by a bee and couldn't breathe, Jamal recognized the allergic reaction and called 911. The neighborhood knows they can count on him. After his shift, Jamal walks home through the streets he's known his whole life, past the corner store with bulletproof glass, past the empty lot where kids play basketball with a bent rim, past the mural of Martin Luther King Jr., faded but still watching over everyone. He stops at Mrs. Rodriguez's building. She's struggling with grocery bags, her arthritis making her hands shake. Let me help you with those, Mrs. R. Aye, Jamal, you're such a good boy. Here, take $5. Keep your money. Neighbors help neighbors. This is who Jamal is. The kid who helps elderly ladies with groceries, who breaks up fights between younger kids, who walks little sisters home from school when their brothers can't. He does it because it's right, not because anyone's watching, not because anyone's keeping score. At home, May is watching the news. Another story about violence in their neighborhood. Another story about kids with no opportunities. "Sometimes I wish we could move somewhere safer," she says. "This is our home, Grandma. These are our people." Jamal opens his notebook and reviews his medical notes. Shock symptoms. Rapid pulse, shallow breathing, pale skin, confusion. Treatment. Elevate legs, keep warm, monitor vitals. He doesn't know why he studies this stuff so hard. It's not like he's going to medical school. It's not like he can afford EMT training. But something inside him says, keep learning. Keep preparing. You never know when someone might need you. May watches him study with pride in her eyes. "Baby, you got a gift. The way you care about people, the way you stay calm when everyone else panics. That's special. Doesn't matter if I can't afford school. Sometimes the best education comes from the heart, not from books." The eviction notice is still tucked behind the kitchen clock. May thinks Jamal doesn't know about it. But he sees everything. The way she counts pills to make them last longer. The way she waters down the milk. The way she pretends everything is fine when it's not. That night, Jamal lies in bed listening to sirens in the distance. Ambulances rushing to help people. Paramedics saving lives. He closes his eyes and imagines himself in uniform. Imagine himself as the calm voice in someone's worst moment. Imagine himself making a difference. Tomorrow is just another day of cleaning airplane cabins and dreaming impossible dreams. What Jamal doesn't know is that tomorrow, everything changes. Saturday morning at O'Hare. The airport buzzes with weekend travelers heading to London, Paris, Tokyo. Jamal clocks in expecting another routine baggage shift, but Mr. Carter intercepts him at the time clock. "Washington, I need you to clean the cabin today. We're short 3 people." "No problem, Mr. Carter." Flight 447 to London. International departure, gate B17. A big plane, first-class cabin needs extra attention. VIP passengers. Jamal grabs his cleaning cart and heads toward the gate. He's cleaned cabins before, but usually domestic flights. Never international, never first class. The Boeing 777 sits massive on the tarmac. Jamal boards through the crew entrance, wheeling his cart down the narrow aisle. First class hits him immediately. Leather seats that probably cost more than his family's rent. Crystal glasses. Real silverware. He starts cleaning methodically, wiping down tray tables, vacuuming carpets, restocking amenities. That's when he notices the luggage being loaded. Louis Vuitton suitcases, Hermes bags, a leather briefcase with gold initials, RS. "Fancy," he mutters, continuing his work. The passengers begin boarding. Jamal stays focused on cleaning, trying to be invisible. These aren't his people. These are the people who fly over his neighborhood at 30,000 feet, heading to places he'll never see. A woman in an elegant cream-colored dress takes seat 2A. She's maybe 35, with perfect hair and jewelry that catches the cabin lights. Her husband settles beside her, a man who carries himself like he owns everything around him. Jamal finishes the forward cabin and moves toward the rear. The boarding process is taking longer than usual. He should be done by now, but the vacuum broke and he had to get a replacement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a slight delay," the captain announces. "We'll be underway shortly." The delay stretches 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Finally, the engines roar to life. Jamal realizes with a jolt that he's still on board. He should have been off 10 minutes ago. He flags down a flight attendant named Jessica. "Hey, I'm a maintenance crew. I need to get off before takeoff." Jessica checks her watch, then looks toward the cockpit. "I'm sorry, we're already cleared for departure. Captain can't stop the sequence now." Jamal's stomach drops. What do I do? "Find a crew seat in the back. We'll sort it out when we land in London." London. Jamal has never been outside Illinois, and now he's accidentally flying to another continent. He straps himself into a crew jump seat, mind racing. What about his shift tomorrow? What about May? She'll be worried sick when he doesn't come home. The plane lifts off. Chicago disappears beneath the clouds. Jamal closes his eyes, trying to process what just happened. Accidental international travel wasn't exactly in his weekend plans. 30 minutes into the flight, the cabin lights dim for the overnight service. Passengers settle in with blankets and pillows. That's when the screaming starts. "Help! Somebody help us!" The voice comes from first class. Jamal unbuckles and moves forward, his cleaning experience giving him familiarity with the aircraft layout. He reaches the first-class cabin to find chaos. The woman in the cream dress, the one from seat 2A, collapsed in the aisle. Her face is ghost white. Her breathing is rapid and shallow. Her hands clutch her pregnant belly. Her husband kneels beside her, panic destroying his composed businessman facade. "Sarah! Sarah, stay with me!" The flight attendants huddle nearby, but Jamal can see the fear in their eyes. Their training covers basic first aid, not emergency medical situations. Jessica speaks into her radio. "We need a doctor in first class. Medical emergency. Any doctors on board, please identify yourselves immediately." Silence. "No doctors," she reports to the cockpit. "I repeat, no medical professionals on board." Sarah's husband looks up desperately. "We have to turn around. We have to land now." "Sir, we're over the Atlantic. The nearest airport is 4 hours away, and weather prevents emergency landings." Sarah's breathing becomes more labored. Her pulse is racing. Jamal recognizes the signs from his YouTube medical training. She's going into shock, possibly premature labor. Without intervention, she could lose the baby. Or worse. The businessman looks around the cabin frantically. "Somebody has to know something. Anybody?" Every passenger stares back with helpless expressions, wealthy, powerful people rendered useless by a medical crisis. That's when Sarah's eyes roll back. Her husband screams, "She's unconscious! Do something!" The flight attendants exchange desperate looks. They're trained for turbulence and evacuations, not obstetric emergencies. Jamal stands in the back of first class, his heart pounding. His mind races through everything he's learned from those YouTube videos. Shock treatment, pregnancy complications, emergency procedures. He's not a doctor. He's not even certified in basic first aid, but he's the only person on this plane who might know what to do. In that moment, Jamal has to make a choice that will either save a life or destroy his own future forever. Jamal takes a deep breath, steps forward. "I can help." Everyone turns, the flight attendants, the panicked husband, the watching passengers, a 17-year-old kid from Chicago claiming he can save a woman's life at 35,000 feet. "Are you a doctor?" Jessica asks desperately. "I have medical training," Jamal says. It's not exactly a lie. YouTube University counts as training, right? Sarah's husband, Robert, looks up with desperate eyes. "Please, do something. Anything." Jamal kneels beside Sarah. His hands shake, but his voice stays steady. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" Sarah's eyelids flutter. She's semi-conscious, breathing shallowly. Jamal's mind races through everything he's memorized. Shock symptoms, rapid pulse, pale skin, confusion. Check. Pregnancy complications, bleeding, severe cramping, unconsciousness. Check. "I need blankets," Jamal tells Jessica. "And bottled water. And the first aid kit." His voice has authority now. The flight attendants move. "Sir," Jamal addresses Robert, "what's your wife's name?" "Sarah. Sarah Sterling." "How far along is she?" 7 months. Jamal's heart pounds. 7 months means the baby could survive if born now. But Sarah needs to stay pregnant for both their sakes. "Sarah," Jamal speaks clearly. "My name is Jamal. I'm going to help you, but I need you to stay with me." He checks her pulse. Fast but steady. Good sign. He positions her on her left side, elevating her legs with pillows from nearby seats. Something he learned from Emergency Pregnancy Care, episode 27. "What are you doing?" Robert asks. "Improving blood flow to the baby, reducing pressure on major blood vessels." Sarah's breathing stabilizes slightly. Jessica returns with supplies. Jamal works methodically, the way he's practiced in his imagination 100 times. He places a cool, damp cloth on Sarah's forehead, checks her pupils with his phone's flashlight, monitors her pulse every 30 seconds. "Sarah, I need you to breathe with me. In through your nose, out through your mouth." Her eyes focus on his face. She nods weakly. "That's it. Stay with me." Robert watches in amazement. This teenager has taken complete control of the situation. His commanding presence, his steady hands, his calm voice. "Are you experiencing cramps?" Jamal asks Sarah. She nods. "Scale of 1 to 10? 6, she whispers. "Any bleeding?" "A little." Jamal's mind calculates. Mild bleeding at 7 months could be normal. But with the cramping and shock symptoms, she's at risk for premature labor. "We need to keep you calm and still," he tells her. "No sudden movements. Focus on breathing." He turns to Jessica. "Can you get me some juice? Orange juice if you have it. She needs blood sugar." While Jessica searches the galley, Jamal continues monitoring Sarah. Her color is improving. The breathing exercises are working. But then Sarah grabs his wrist. "Something's wrong," she gasps. "The cramping is getting worse." Jamal feels his own panic rising. This is beyond YouTube training. If she goes into active labor, he has no idea what to do. "Rate the pain now," he asks. 8. Oh God, 8. The contractions are intensifying. Sarah could deliver this baby in the next hour. Robert stands, pacing frantically. "We have to land. Now!" "Sir, please stay calm," Jamal says firmly. "Your energy affects her energy." But inside, Jamal is terrified. He's 17 years old, flying over the Atlantic Ocean, trying to prevent premature birth with knowledge he learned from YouTube videos. Sarah squeezes his hand during another contraction. "Don't let me lose my baby," she pleads. "Please." Something shifts in Jamal's chest. This isn't about his fear anymore. This isn't about his qualifications. This is about a mother and child who need him. "You're not going to lose your baby," he says with conviction he doesn't feel. "We're going to get through this together." He guides Sarah through breathing techniques, slow, measured breaths, counting exercises to distract from the pain. "Tell me about your baby," he says during a contraction. "Boy or girl?" "Girl," Sarah manages. "Emma." "Emma, that's a beautiful name. Tell me about the nursery you're preparing for." As Sarah describes pink walls and stuffed animals, her breathing slows. The distraction is working. Jamal monitors the contractions. They're still coming, but the intensity is decreasing. The breathing exercises, the positioning, the calm environment, it's all helping. Robert kneels beside them. "How do you know all this?" "I study emergency medicine," Jamal says simply. For the next 2 hours, Jamal doesn't leave Sarah's side. He monitors her vitals, guides her breathing, keeps her talking during contractions. The other first-class passengers watch in silent amazement. This teenager has turned a medical crisis into a manageable situation. Jessica brings updates from the cockpit. "Captain says we're having a good time. London Heathrow in 90 minutes. Sarah's contractions space out. 5 minutes apart, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. "The baby's staying put," Jamal announces with relief. Sarah starts crying, happy tears. "You saved us," she whispers. "You saved both of us." Robert stands beside them, studying Jamal with new eyes. This isn't just a kid who happened to help. This is someone with genuine medical instincts, natural leadership, and a calm presence under impossible pressure. "What's your name?" Robert asks. "Jamal Washington." "Jamal Washington," Robert repeats, like he's memorizing it. The plane begins its descent into London. Sarah is stable, alert, and the contractions have nearly stopped. As they touch down at Heathrow, paramedics board the aircraft. They efficiently transfer Sarah to a stretcher, praising Jamal's stabilization work. "Textbook pregnancy crisis management," the lead paramedic tells him. "You probably saved her life, and the baby's." But as the paramedics wheel Sarah toward the ambulance, she reaches out and grabs Jamal's hand. "I don't even know how to thank you." Jamal smiles. "Just take care of Emma." Robert steps forward, his business instincts kicking in even after the medical drama. "We owe you everything," he says. "Let me give you my information. I want to properly thank you when we get back to the States." What Robert doesn't tell Jamal is that he's already decided to find out everything about this remarkable young man. Because people like Jamal Washington don't come along very often. 3 hours later, London Hospital. Sarah lies in a pristine hospital bed, monitors beeping steadily. Her color has returned. Baby Emma's heartbeat fills the room through the ultrasound machine. "Both mother and baby are completely stable," Dr. Patterson tells Robert. "Whoever provided care on that aircraft prevented what could have been a tragic premature birth." Robert nods, but his eyes are on Jamal. The teenager sits quietly in the corner, still wearing his O'Hare maintenance uniform. Jamal stands to leave. "I'm glad she's okay. I should probably figure out how to get home." "Wait." Robert reaches into his suit jacket and pulls out a thick envelope. "This doesn't even begin to cover what you did for us." Jamal looks at the envelope. Through the paper, he can see green bills, a lot of them. "I can't take that." "It's $2,500, Robert insists. "And that's just the beginning. I want to properly thank you when we're back in Chicago." Jamal pushes the envelope back toward Robert. "Sir, I appreciate it, but I don't want your money." Robert blinks. In his world, everyone wants his money. Everyone has a price. Everyone expects payment for services rendered. "I don't understand." "I'm just glad Sarah and the baby are safe," Jamal says simply. "Anyone would have done the same thing." Sarah speaks up from her hospital bed. "No, they wouldn't have. 20 other passengers watched me collapse. You were the only one who stepped forward." "Because it was the right thing to do," Jamal replies. That's it. Robert studies this teenager who just refused $2,500 without a second thought. Most adults would have grabbed that envelope before Robert finished talking. "At least let me give you my contact information," Robert says. "I run a business in Chicago. When you're ready to think about your future, I'd like to help." He hands Jamal a business card and a small keychain with his company logo. Jamal glances at the card. Robert Sterling, Sterling Enterprises. The name doesn't mean anything to him. "Thank you, Mr. Sterling, but I'm fine." Sarah reaches for Jamal's hand. "What you did up there, you have a gift. You should be a doctor or a paramedic. You're meant to help people." "That's the plan," Jamal says. "Someday." He writes his grandmother's phone number on a hospital napkin and gives it to Sarah. "If you need anything when you get back to Chicago, call my Grandma May. She'll make sure I get the message." This simple gesture, giving his family's contact information to help strangers, touches both Sarah and Robert deeply. "You're giving us your grandmother's number?" Sarah asks. "She's a good person. She'd want to know you're okay." Robert watches this interaction with growing amazement. Jamal isn't just refusing money, he's offering ongoing support to people he met 3 hours ago. "Jamal," Robert says carefully, "what do you do for work?" "I work at O'Hare, baggage handling mostly, sometimes cabin cleaning like today." "And your plans? College?" Jamal's expression shifts slightly, the first hint of sadness Robert has seen. "Community college, hopefully. EMT program, if I can save up enough." "How much do you need?" "About 3,000 more, but I'll figure it out." Robert wants to write a check right now. $3,000 is pocket change to him. But something tells him this young man won't accept charity. Instead, he carefully places his business card and keychain in Jamal's hand. Promise me you'll keep these, and if you ever need anything at all, you'll call." Jamal pockets the items without really looking at them. "Sure thing, Mr. Sterling." A nurse enters to prepare Sarah for additional tests. Jamal takes this as his cue to leave. "I hope everything goes well with baby Emma," he tells Sarah. "She's lucky to have parents who care so much." He turns to Robert. "Take care of them." And then he's gone. Robert stares at the doorway where Jamal disappeared. In 30 years of business, he's never met anyone like this teenager. Someone who saves lives and refuses rewards. Someone who offers help instead of asking for it. Someone who sees people in crisis and thinks, "How can I serve?" instead of, "What's in it for me?" Sarah watches her husband's expression change. "You're going to help him, aren't you?" Robert picks up his phone. "I'm going to do more than help him. But first, I need to find out everything about Jamal Washington." What Robert discovers over the next week will convince him that finding Jamal wasn't an accident. It was destiny. 1 week later, Chicago. Jamal walks home from his shift at O'Hare, exhausted but grateful to be back on familiar ground. The London trip feels like a dream now. Or maybe a nightmare, considering the paperwork headache of accidentally flying international without a passport. But he's home. Back to reality. That's when he notices the black town car parked outside his building. It's been there twice this week. Same car, same tinted windows, same way of pulling away whenever Jamal gets close enough to see inside. "Grandma May, you expecting company?" he asks, climbing the stairs to their apartment. May looks up from her knitting. "Funny you should ask. I had a phone call yesterday. Very polite woman, professional voice. Asked about you." "About me? What kind of questions?" "Your work schedule, your character, whether you were reliable. I told her you were the best young man in Chicago." Jamal frowns. "Did she say who she was?" "Something about an opportunity. Said someone wanted to meet with you." Jamal pulls out his wallet and finds Robert Sterling's business card, still there, along with the keychain. He's been meaning to look up Sterling Enterprises, but his phone's cracked screen makes reading anything online nearly impossible. "Probably nothing," he tells May. But it's not nothing. At work the next day, Mr. Carter pulls Jamal aside. "Washington, somebody's been asking questions about you." "What kind of questions?" "Employment history, work ethic, whether you've ever missed a shift." Carter looks puzzled. "I told them you're one of the best employees we've had. Never late, never complain, always help your coworkers." "Who was asking?" "Professional woman. Said she was conducting a background check for a potential opportunity." Jamal's stomach tightens. Background check sounds serious. Official. "Did I do something wrong, Mr. Carter?" "Wrong? Kid, whatever you do, they're very interested in you." That evening, walking home through his neighborhood, Jamal pays closer attention to his surroundings. The construction sites he passes every day suddenly look different. The cranes towering over new developments, the signs on building sites. That's when he sees it. A logo on the side of a massive construction crane. The same logo that's on Robert Sterling's keychain in his pocket. Sterling Enterprises. The name is everywhere now that he's looking for it. Construction sites, development projects, the new affordable housing complex going up on Michigan Avenue. Jamal stops walking. How big is Robert Sterling's company? And why would someone that important care about a baggage handler from the South Side? May receives another call that night. "Baby, they want to set up a meeting with you. Downtown office. They said it's about your future." "My future?" "That's what the woman said. We'd like to discuss Jamal's future." Jamal stares at the business card again. The keychain. The company logo he's been walking past for years without noticing. Sterling Enterprises isn't just some small business. It's everywhere. And somehow Robert Sterling has been watching him. May convinces Jamal to take the meeting. Baby, you got nothing to lose by listening, she says, adjusting his one good shirt. Maybe this is the Lord's way of opening a door. The address leads to a gleaming skyscraper in downtown Chicago's financial district. Jamal has walked past this building dozens of times but never paid attention to the name carved in marble above the entrance. Sterling Enterprises. Now, standing on the sidewalk looking up 40 stories, the reality hits him. This isn't just a business. This is an empire. The lobby is all marble and glass, security guards in expensive suits, a fountain that probably cost more than Jamal's family makes in 5 years. The receptionist, polished and professional, smiles when he approaches. Jamal Washington? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sterling is expecting you, 40th floor. The elevator ride feels like forever. Jamal's reflection stares back at him from the polished steel walls, his duct-taped shoes, his Walmart shirt. He doesn't belong here. The 40th floor is executive territory, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking all of Chicago, leather furniture that costs more than cars. A secretary leads him down a hallway lined with awards. Chicago Business Leader of the Year, Humanitarian of the Decade, Development Excellence Award. Every plaque has the same name, Robert Sterling. She opens massive oak doors to reveal a conference room with a view that takes Jamal's breath away. The entire city spreads out below. His neighborhood looks so small from up here. Mr. Washington. Robert Sterling stands at the window, but he's not the panicked husband from the airplane. He's wearing a tailored suit that probably costs more than Jamal makes in 6 months. His presence fills the room. This is a man who commands boardrooms, who makes decisions that affect thousands of people, who builds the skyline Jamal sees every day. Please, sit down. Jamal takes a seat at the conference table, feeling completely out of place. Do you know what Sterling Enterprises does? Robert asks. Construction, I think. Robert gestures toward the window. See those cranes out there? The new hospital being built on the south side? The affordable housing development on Michigan Avenue? The medical center going up in Bronzeville? Jamal nods. He's seen them all. Sterling Enterprises. We built half of modern Chicago. The weight of this revelation settles on Jamal. Robert Sterling isn't just rich. He's one of the most powerful men in the city. I've spent the last week learning everything I can about you, Robert continues. He opens a folder on the table. Jamal recognizes documents from his life, school records, employment history, character references. Perfect attendance at O'Hare for 8 months. Your supervisor says you've never missed a shift, never complained, and always helped your coworkers. Robert flips a page. Your high school teachers describe you as naturally gifted but humble. Your neighbors... He pauses, reading. The kind of young man who helps elderly ladies with groceries and won't take a dime for it. You investigated my neighbors? Mrs. Rodriguez told my researcher about the time you helped her when she fell down the stairs, how you checked for head injuries, stayed with her until paramedics arrived. You were 15. Another page. Little Miguel Gonzalez, age 7, allergic reaction to a bee sting. You recognized the symptoms, called 911, and potentially saved his life. No medical training, just instinct and knowledge you taught yourself. Jamal shifts uncomfortably. I just try to help when I can. And that's exactly why I've been looking for you my entire career. Robert leans forward. Jamal, I built Sterling Enterprises on one principle. Character first, skills second. I can teach anyone construction, business, management, but I cannot teach integrity. I cannot teach the instinct to help others before helping yourself. He stands, walking to another window. For 20 years, I've been searching for someone with your combination of natural ability, moral character, and leadership instinct. Someone who steps forward when others step back. Someone who refuses payment for doing the right thing. Robert turns back to Jamal. What you did on that airplane wasn't just medical assistance. You showed composure under impossible pressure. You took command of a crisis situation. You made life and death decisions with limited information. I just did what anyone would do. No, Robert says firmly. 20 passengers watched my wife collapse. Only one had the courage and knowledge to act. You. He returns to his seat. I don't believe in coincidences, Jamal. My wife's medical emergency. Your presence on that plane. Your background, your character, your instincts. This was meant to happen. Jamal stares out the window at the city below, at the cranes and construction sites that belong to the man across from him. What do you want from me? I want to offer you something I've never offered anyone, Robert says. A full partnership in the future of this company. He slides another folder across the table. Sterling Community Development. A new division focused on healthcare infrastructure in underserved communities. Free medical training centers, EMT certification programs, job placement guarantees. Jamal opens the folder, staring at architectural renderings of medical training facilities. I need someone to run this division. Someone who understands both the community and the mission. Someone with natural medical instincts and proven leadership ability. Robert pauses. I'm offering you full college tuition, immediate EMT certification, management training, and a starting salary of $75,000 annually. Jamal's hands shake as he processes the numbers. $75,000 is more than his family has ever dreamed of. But there's one condition, Robert adds. What's that? Robert leans back in his chair, studying Jamal carefully. I need to know what you really want, Jamal. Not what you think you should want. Not what would make your grandmother proud. What do you actually want for your future? The question hangs in the air between them, and Jamal's answer is about to shock everyone in that room. Jamal stares at the architectural renderings spread across the conference table. Medical training centers, EMT programs, job placement guarantees. $75,000 a year, more money than his family has ever seen. Robert waits patiently, watching Jamal process the magnitude of what's being offered. Finally, Jamal looks up. Mr. Sterling, this is incredible, life-changing, but I have to ask you something. Of course, Jamal points to the renderings. These medical centers, where would they be built? Robert slides over a map of Chicago. 3 locations are marked with red circles. South Side, West Side, East Garfield Park, the communities that need healthcare access most. Jamal studies the map. These are his neighborhoods, his people. How many people would these centers train? Each facility could certify 100 EMTs annually, 300 total. And they'd be free? Completely free. Tuition, books, equipment, everything covered. Jamal runs his fingers over the architectural drawings, state-of-the-art training equipment, modern classrooms, real ambulances for hands-on practice. What about after certification? Jobs? Sterling Enterprises has partnerships with every major hospital system in Chicago, plus our own construction sites need on-site medical personnel, guaranteed placement for every graduate. Robert opens another folder. Here's your compensation package. $75,000 starting salary while you complete your own education. Full tuition for community college, then 4-year degree in healthcare administration, management training throughout. He slides a check across the table. $25,000 signing bonus. Consider it immediate relief for your family's financial pressures. Jamal stares at the check. $25,000. Enough to pay May's medical bills for 2 years. Enough to cover rent, food, everything. His hands shake as he picks it up. This is real? Completely real. You'd start immediately. Part-time student, part-time project manager. As you learn, your responsibilities grow. Robert stands, walking to the window again. Jamal, I've built a billion-dollar company by recognizing talent early. You have something special, the combination of natural medical ability, leadership instincts, and genuine care for others. He turns back. But this isn't charity. This is investment. I need someone who understands these communities from the inside. Someone who can connect with people who don't trust outsiders. What exactly would I do? Everything. Site selection, construction oversight, curriculum development, instructor recruitment. You'd learn every aspect of the business while building something that transforms lives. Robert sits back down. 5-year contract. By the end, you'll have your degree, professional certification, and management experience. You'll be qualified to run healthcare initiatives anywhere in the country. Jamal looks out the window at the city sprawling below. In the neighborhoods where kids like him grow up believing their only options are minimum wage jobs or street corners. 300 EMTs a year, he says quietly. 300 careers, 300 families lifted out of poverty, 300 people trained to save lives in their own communities. The weight of possibility settles on Jamal's shoulders. Robert leans forward. So what do you say? Are you ready to change your life and transform your community? Jamal takes a deep breath, and then he says something that leaves Robert Sterling speechless. Mr. Sterling, your offer is incredible, more than I ever dreamed possible, but I can't accept it. Robert blinks. I'm sorry? I can't accept this offer, not as you've presented it. Silence fills the conference room. Robert has never had anyone refuse a life-changing opportunity. I don't understand. Jamal stands walking to the window, looking down at his neighborhoods from 40 floors up. You're offering to change my life. But what about everyone else down there? What about the kids who are just like me but won't get lucky enough to save someone on an airplane? He turns back to Robert. I don't want this just for me. I want to build something bigger. Bigger how? These 3 training centers are a start, but there are dozens of underserved communities in Chicago alone. Hundreds across the country. Jamal's voice gains strength. I don't want to be your employee, Mr. Sterling. I want to be your partner. Robert raises an eyebrow. Partner? I want us to create a national model. Sterling Community Health Initiative. Start here in Chicago, then expand to every major city. Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Atlanta. Jamal returns to the table, his eyes bright with vision. Free EMT training is just the beginning. What about paramedic programs, nursing degrees, medical school prep courses? He points to the architectural renderings. These centers could be community health hubs, free clinics staffed by graduates, mobile health units serving food deserts, partnerships with major medical schools. Robert stares at this 17-year-old kid who just transformed a job offer into a nationwide vision. You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in investment. I'm talking about changing the entire landscape of community healthcare in America. Jamal sits back down. Mr. Sterling, you said you've been searching for someone with character and vision. Someone who thinks beyond themselves. He slides the check back across the table. I don't want your charity. I don't want to be rescued from my circumstances. I want to be equipped to rescue everyone else who's still stuck in them. Robert picks up the check, studying Jamal with new eyes. You're serious. Dead serious. Give me the education, the training, the resources. Make me a true partner in this vision. And let's build something that doesn't just train 300 EMTs. Jamal leans forward. Let's build something that transforms American healthcare from the ground up. For the first time in 30 years of business, Robert Sterling is completely stunned. This kid didn't just refuse money. He just proposed a revolution. 6 months later, the first Sterling Community Health Center rises from an empty lot in Southside Chicago. Jamal stands in a hard hat and Sterling Enterprises polo shirt, watching the final pieces of medical equipment being installed. His confidence has grown, but his humility remains. He knows every construction worker's name, asks about their families, brings coffee on cold mornings. "Looking good, Jamal," calls out Maria Santos, the lead electrician. "My daughter's already signed up for the first EMT class." Jamal grins. "She's going to love it. Tell her I said the trauma scenarios are the best part." The center officially opens on a crisp October morning. Local news crews capture the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Mayor Johnson speaks about innovative public-private partnerships. But the real story is the line of applicants stretching around the block. People who look exactly like Jamal did 8 months ago. People who work 2 jobs and study medical videos on cracked phone screens. People who help their neighbors and dream of helping more. Channel 7 News here with Jamal Washington, Director of Community Health Initiatives for Sterling Enterprises. Jamal, you're only 18 years old. How did you end up running this program? Jamal adjusts his tie, still not used to wearing them, and looks directly into the camera. "This isn't about me. This is about giving people in my community the same opportunities that wealthy neighborhoods take for granted. Free healthcare training, guaranteed job placement, a path out of poverty that doesn't require leaving your community behind." The first class of 50 students begins training. Jamal teaches some courses himself, his YouTube medical knowledge now supplemented by professional certification and community college coursework. His students are single mothers, former gang members, high school dropouts, elderly people changing careers. What they share is hunger. Hunger to learn, to serve, to build something better for their families. "Today we're learning trauma assessment," Jamal announces to his Tuesday evening class. "But first, who can tell me why this matters in our neighborhood?" Hands shoot up, stories pour out. Shootings where ambulances took too long, heart attacks where nobody knew CPR, overdoses where panic prevented proper response. "That's exactly why we're here," Jamal says. "To make sure our community can take care of its own." 3 months after the first center opens, graduation day arrives. 47 students complete the program. 47 new EMTs certified and ready for employment. Chicago Tribune runs a front-page feature. Southside success. Local program trains. Dozens of emergency medical technicians. The article quotes Robert Sterling. Jamal Washington represents the future of community development. He understands that sustainable change comes from within, not from outside intervention. But the real validation comes from the streets. Mrs. Rodriguez calls Jamal at 2 a.m. Her neighbor, Mr. Davis, is having chest pains. Instead of waiting 30 minutes for downtown paramedics, she calls Carlos Mendoza, one of Jamal's first graduates who now works for the local fire department. Carlos arrives in 4 minutes, stabilizes Mr. Davis, coordinates with the hospital, saves a life in his own neighborhood. "That's what we're building," Jamal tells Sarah Sterling over coffee. She's become a regular visitor to the center, often bringing her now 6-month-old daughter, Emma. Emma's first word was Jamal, Sarah laughs. Robert jokes that she's going to grow up thinking you're family. "I am family," Jamal says simply. The second center opens in West Side Chicago 3 months ahead of schedule, then the third in East Garfield Park. Local news becomes national news. CNN features the Sterling Community Health Initiative as a model for urban development. Forbes profiles Robert Sterling's character-based hiring philosophy. But the most meaningful coverage comes from community newspapers. Stories about local heroes, EMTs who grew up in the neighborhoods they now serve. Families lifted out of poverty through healthcare careers. 6 months later, Jamal receives his associate's degree in emergency medical services. He's been accepted to the University of Illinois for healthcare administration. But he's also received something else. Phone calls from mayors in Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. Everyone wants to replicate the Sterling model in their cities. "We've trained over 200 EMTs in 18 months, Jamal tells the crowd at his community college graduation. But more importantly, we've proven that investing in character creates returns you can't measure in dollars. Robert Sterling watches from the audience, remembering the scared teenager who saved his wife on an airplane. That teenager is now a young man with national influence. Some cities compete to recruit, someone who turns down lucrative offers to stay committed to his original vision. After graduation, Jamal meets with Robert in their now familiar conference room. Detroit wants to start with 5 centers, Robert reports. Cleveland is proposing 7. Atlanta's talking about a partnership with Emory University. Jamal studies the expansion maps spread across the table. Mr. Sterling, I think we're ready for phase 2 of the revolution. But neither man knows that Jamal's biggest test is still ahead of him. And it's going to happen exactly where this all began. 2 years later. Paramedic Jamal Washington, now 19, sits in the driver's seat of Ambulance 47, checking equipment before his shift. His partner today is Maria Santos, the same woman whose daughter was in his first EMT class. Maria, have you ever thought about how crazy life is? Jamal asks, testing the defibrillator. Every day, especially working with you, she laughs. My daughter Carmen starts paramedic school next month, thanks to you. The radio crackles. Unit 47, medical emergency at O'Hare Airport, gate B17. Elderly male, possible cardiac arrest. Jamal's hands freeze on the steering wheel. Gate B17. The same gate where his life changed forever. Copy dispatch, Unit 47 en route. Sirens wailing, they race through Chicago traffic toward O'Hare. Jamal's mind flashes back to that day. Scared, uncertain, using YouTube knowledge to save Sarah Sterling. Now he's a certified paramedic with 2 years of professional experience, but his heart still races the same way. They arrive at gate B17 within 8 minutes. Jamal grabs the medical kit and rushes into the terminal. A crowd has gathered around an elderly black man lying on the floor. His breathing is labored. His lips are blue, classic signs of cardiac arrest. Beside him kneels a teenager, maybe 17 years old, tears streaming down his face. Grandpa, please don't leave me, please. Jamal kneels beside the patient, immediately beginning assessment. The man's pulse is weak but present. Breathing shallow. He needs immediate intervention. Sir, what's your grandfather's name? Jamal asks the teenager while working. William Thompson. He was fine, then just collapsed. Jamal and Maria work efficiently. IV fluids, oxygen, cardiac monitoring, the training center education combined with real-world experience. He's stabilizing, Maria reports. Good work, partner. As they prepare William for transport, Jamal notices the teenager counting crumpled bills in his wallet. $23. Probably his college fund, now needed for medical bills. The fear in the young man's eyes is familiar. The same fear Jamal felt watching May struggle with diabetes medication costs. While Maria coordinates with the receiving hospital, Jamal pulls out his wallet and finds a business card. Robert Sterling's current contact information. What's your name? He asks the teenager. Marcus Thompson. Marcus, I want you to call this number. Tell them Jamal Washington sent you. Tell them your story, your grandfather's condition, your financial situation, everything. Marcus looks at the card, confused. Sterling Enterprises? I don't understand. Just trust me. Sometimes the person you help is exactly who you need to meet. Jamal remembers those exact words from 2 years ago, the mysterious forces that brought him and Robert together. But I didn't help anyone. My grandfather collapsed and I froze. You stayed with him. You called for help. You didn't panic. That matters. They load William into the ambulance. His vitals are stronger now. He'll recover fully. As they drive toward the hospital, Jamal looks in his rearview mirror. Marcus stands at the gate still holding Robert's business card, the same gate where everything began. The radio crackles with their next call. Another emergency, another chance to help. But Jamal smiles, knowing that somewhere behind them, another young man is about to discover that kindness creates opportunities in the most unexpected places. The circle continues. Jamal's story proves that kindness isn't just about the moment, it's about the momentum. One act of compassion on an airplane created a chain reaction that's still transforming lives today. Over 400 EMTs trained, 12 cities now run sterling community health programs, thousands of families lifted out of poverty. But here's what really matters. Jamal didn't just save Sarah Sterling that day. His shocking request to help his entire community instead of just himself created a revolution in American healthcare. You don't need to save someone on a plane to make this kind of difference. Every day, you have chances to show kindness to strangers, to see potential in others, to lift someone up when they're down. What if your next act of kindness is the one that changes everything? Maybe the person you help today is the person who helps you tomorrow. The world is smaller than you think, and kindness is the thread that connects us all. Share this story if Jamal inspired you. What's one act of kindness you could do today? Tell us in the comments below. And remember, goodness always comes back to you. Like and subscribe to Black Tales Stories for more proof that ordinary people can create extraordinary change.